Good morning, everyone, or evening. I'm messing with the schedule again and filming this on Friday evening instead of Saturday morning. My husband and son are off doing their draft selections for fantasy football, so I've got a quiet night at home to myself with the dogs, and I thought it'd be a great time to sit down and record for tomorrow, so there's no rush. Lovely to see you again. I don't know why it feels like it's been longer. It's only been 2 weeks since the last video, but for whatever reason, it feels like it's been too long. So here we are again, and thank you so much for joining me. Jumping right into stitching in action. First up, we have Tudor B, and this was stitched by Michael. Stitched on 32 count linen with the called for DMC. And I love the beaded trim on this one. I did actually ask if it was hard to put on, and they said that it was easy because the beads are attached to like a tape, and so you just put the tape in between your fabric pieces when you sew it up, which honestly is the kind of thing that I would have trouble with because I'm much better with hand sewing than with sewing machine sewing, but I really like the effect, so I might get brave one of these times and give it a try. So thank you so much, Michael, for sharing that great stitch and finish. And then next up, we have Huckleberry Farm. I actually received this just a few minutes before I was going to start putting the video together. So perfect timing. Kathy stitched this on 36 count Jamie's Kilt linen from Fabrics by Stephanie. That is a color that I love. I told Kathy I have a piece of it in my own stash. Now that you've seen part of my stash, you can well believe it. And I just haven't found the right design to put on it yet. So I love it as a background for this. I also think it's great. Kathy deserves extra props because she started this last year, I believe, and then set it aside after doing part of it, as we do. But then she decided she wanted to go back and finish it. And I think sometimes it's a lot harder to pick up something that you've already laid aside and keep going with it than it is to start something new and just go through. At least it is for me. So extra props for Kathy, and beautiful stitching, beautiful finishing. She had it framed at a Gallery West in Rocky River, Ohio, and I just love the way it came out. So thank you both so much for sharing these with us. As always, if you've stitched a blue flower design, I'd love to see it. Just drop me an email with a picture so I can feature it on the Flosstube and on the website. And if you are stitching a blue flower design and you want some inspiration, there's a stitching in action page on the website, and you can see what other stitchers have done with the designs and be inspired the way that I am. What I'm stitching is mostly models right now, so I'm afraid there's nothing for me to show, but it has been really fun. I'm getting to work on some of the designing for Jingle Ball, and I'm just loving it. So, made a funny face there. I thought I was going to yawn. All right, stash spotlight. I was thinking about this actually, talking about the Jamie's Kilt linen and how it's an unusual one, and so you have to find the right thing. So I pulled actually a couple of fabrics from my stash that are unusual in that way. I have a lot of good neutral fabrics that you can put a number of different designs on, but I also have a lot of fabrics that are a little bit more standout-ish, and so you need to make sure that what you put on them doesn't take away from the fabric or vice versa. I'm going to make sure they're harmonizing. And so the three that I wanted to look at today, get a blank piece of paper here so we can see. This first one is called Quail's Egg. It's always hard with the lights to show it properly, but you can see here it's essentially a very light color with these beautiful blue-green speckles on it. And then this one is a similar vein. This is called, I think, Rusty Spots. Same thing, very pale fabric with these lovely orange speckles. And then this one is called Tombstone. This is essentially yellow with some gray modeling. And these, I think, are a really good example of the ones where with the right design, they will really be spectacular. And with the wrong design, they will just not set each other off at all. And so this is the kind of fabric that can spend a couple of years in the drawer just waiting for the right thing until it finally comes up and gets used. So that's my stash spotlight. On to World Around this week. Very special. I chose the sunflower, and this is inspired by my friend Sharon, who loves sunflowers. So it was a fun opportunity for me to learn something more about them as well. Oh, pardon me. I'm sleepy. Sorry about that. I can't have coffee even because it's going to be bedtime. All right. So I am also very pleased to report, not just in honor of Sharon that we're talking about sunflowers, but that I've grown a couple of sunflowers this year. It's been a very strange year for the garden. It was way too hot for a long time, and so we've got seeds and things actually coming up now that should have come up a month ago but didn't because the weather was wrong. And the sunflowers have been absolute standouts. They haven't been bothered by the heat. They've been trucking along just fine, and so they've been stars in the garden this year. Now, I actually learned that sunflowers are made up not of a flower, but of hundreds or even thousands of individual flowers on that single face, depending on the size of the sunflower. So I've got a close-up. You can see, some of the teeny tiny little flowers, and that's what the bees are after, are those tiny individual flowers, each one of which becomes a seed eventually. Sunflowers originate from North America, but they've actually been grown as crops for over 4,500 years, which means they are older than corn as a cultivated product. And it's because every part of the plant is edible, not just the seeds, but the leaves, the stalks, the roots, all of it. Now, I have not tried to eat anything other than the seeds, but I can tell you that Rye really thinks the leaves are delicious. So all of our sunflowers are a little bit nibbled. They were grown as a food crop for a long time, certainly because of the seeds, which could also be made into flour, and you can eat the petals, which I didn't know, and also have not yet tried. But maybe I'll offer one to Ryan and see what she thinks. You can use the oil from the seeds in cooking and also to make dyes and pigments and use for cosmetic applications. They get their name from the fact that they're meant to follow the sun, which they do, and I got to see them doing it this year, but only before the plant reaches its full height. Once it's fully grown, they stop following the sun and they orient themselves towards the east, which makes it a little bit easier for pollinators to find them, which I did not know, except that I've observed. Yeah, they do. They follow the sun when they're younger, and then they stop following it and they stay pointed in one direction. They can be a number of sizes. We've got some native ones over in our wildflower bed that are quite short, and we've got some giant ones over in the main garden area that are probably 6 feet tall. But the tallest sunflower on record was grown in Germany and was actually 30 feet tall. Had to have special scaffolding to support it, but I guess the guy who grew it had broken the previous record several times, and so he's been the holder of the world's tallest sunflower record multiple times. Another amazing thing I learned about sunflowers is that they can actually clean the soil. So they can absorb toxic metals, lead, radiation, lots of different things from the soil and take it into the body of the sunflower. They even have been planted after nuclear disasters to help clean the soil. So after Fukushima and some of the others, which I hadn't even thought about. Now you can use the sunflower stalks for construction, of all things. Although now that I know that they can absorb toxins from the soil, I think I would probably be a little bit more careful about that. But certainly they're just an amazing, amazing plant that have existed in North America for literal millennia. So very exciting for me to learn a little bit more about the sunflowers, and I will appreciate them even more next year when we have a few more going. All right, questions. Last video I was asking about your favorite birthday treats, and I so enjoyed hearing from so many of you the thing that you like to do to feel special on your birthday. This video, the question is very straightforward. What are you up to this weekend? I've got a pretty quiet weekend. I'm working on jingle ball stuff, doing a little yard work, nothing too dramatic, walking the dogs because Mosie demands walks, extensive walks every day whenever we have a chance. So yeah, pretty quiet weekend for me. On to best things. Oh, Needlework Marketplace is happening this weekend, and there are so many fun designs. I don't know, you've probably already also seen just this morning for me, my time, was when Stacey Nash's new designs were revealed, and I love them so much. They're animal crackers, which are all just adorable anyway. There's a badger I've got my eye on. But one of them had a little Halloween mask too that you can put on and take off, and oh, they're just so cute. I love all the new designs that are coming out right now. I'm not participating in the Needlework Marketplace this year, but I think it just sounds like an amazing time, and I am so enjoying seeing all the fun stuff. All right, giveaway. Last video, 2 new releases that I had, so 2 winners using the word turtle, and thank you all for the wonderful turtle comments. The 2 winners are Kelly Flynn 4775 and Maggie Watt 7911. So Kelly and Maggie, if you want to drop me an email with your mailing address, let me know which of my charts you would like, anyone including the new releases, and I will get those in the mail to you. All right, giveaway this time is this great chart, and it's again going to be tricky to show because of the lights. This is the Summer Trio 2024 from Puntini, and I just love it. It's a collection of little smalls, time to relax, by the beach, by the pool, a take on the berry basket, but with watermelon and pineapple. I just love it. So that is a fun one. If you use the word summer in your comment, I'll pick a winner from the next video, and you'll be able to enjoy that chart before the summer is even over if you want to. On to announcements, a couple of announcements. First off, I can show you now the piece that I designed for the Northwest Stitchers Retreat, since we're not doing an in-person event. And it was a take on the Seasons of the Heart design that I've played with a little bit. I had so much fun with this one. And this was inspired by the Rocky Mountains. So this is Heart of the Mountains. It's going to be hard to see, so I'm going to actually put up a proper large picture of it. But I've got a bald eagle in here. I've got mountains. I've got some lovely pasque flowers, a mountain lion, a mountain goat, all sorts of native flora and fauna, as I like to have. And just so that you know, I am actually doing little mini kits of these because the supplies, the fabric, and the cottage garden threads were ordered before. The in-person was canceled. So I'm going to go ahead and put the kits together. If you're in the Northwest Stitchers group, Peggy has all the information on how to order those. And if there are any extras after you guys have first pick, I'll go ahead and put those up on the website for anyone else to order if they're interested as well. All right, Flosstube. I'm going to try and do the next video in 2 weeks, but I'm a little concerned that I may not be able to because 2 weekends from now is both my birthday and my scheduled visit to the animal rescue to do my video for the Jingle Ball. I get to meet a porcupine this year. So that's very exciting, lots of stuff. So I'm hoping to get it done on schedule, even if I film a little early, to get it posted in 2 weeks. If not, however, it will probably be maybe a month because the following weekend I'll be in Portland and I'll see people at Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit, but I won't be around at home. So hopefully 2 weeks, and if not, a little bit longer. I have speaking of, a little bit longer puppy video to follow at the end of this, and that is actually it for me. So it's been lovely getting to chat with you. I hope you're having a great weekend, and I look forward to hearing what you're up to. And if you have tasted part of a sunflower other than the seeds, I'd love to know what you thought. So talk to you in a couple of weeks. Bye.